This is to answer questions that I ask people to drop questions in the chat box, in the comment sections about 2 hours ago, and I will respond to the questions as much as possible, either career questions, business questions, money questions, or anything that you think I can share some perspective, I can share some advice, and you can just throw the questions at me and I will happily respond to these questions. All right, thank you so much everybody for confirming. Let me start providing answers to, I will read the questions that some people sent to me and I will answer these questions as much as possible. Okay, let me start with the first question. The first question came from Ronette. The first question, her name is Ronette. Ronette says, I am a year 1 student in the University of Bamenda. That is, for those who are not Cameroonians, Bamenda is the city, the capital city of the Northwest region in Cameroon. Okay, my original region, of course. I am a year 1 student in the University of Bamenda, and I saw a business opportunity of Benny makings, that is making caps. Please advise me on what to put in place so as to make the business work. So she has seen a business opportunity and she needs advice on what to do, what to put in place to make the business to work. This is a very important question. Thank you so much, Ronette, for asking this important question. Many people get to have business ideas, they see business opportunities, and sometimes they don't know what to do. And I always say that it takes more than an idea, it takes more than an opportunity to build a thriving business. Right? I can say from experience, I have been able to start over 7 businesses in my life. 3 have failed, 4 are still thriving, right? And I've provided consulting and business coaching to business owners in 21 countries across the world. And I see people have very brilliant ideas, but to move these ideas from their mind into a profitable venture becomes very difficult. Or like this young lady who is a university student, she has seen an idea, she has seen a business opportunity, and she doesn't know what to do to actually tap into this business opportunity and convert it into a sustainable business. So her question is, she is a university student and she has seen a business opportunity on making caps, and she wants me to advise her on what to put in place to make the business work. Okay, for those that are joining right now, this is to answer questions, career questions and business questions. I asked people about 2 hours ago to drop questions in the chat box, in the comment sections, that they have challenges with, and I will do my best to answer as much as possible. So if you are joining right now and you have questions that you would like me to attempt to provide answers and guide you, please feel free to share them in the comment section of this live show and I will attend to them as much as possible. Also, please kindly share the live show so that we can reach as many people as possible. All right, let us answer Ronit's question. Now, when you see a business opportunity, I always recommend people to do the first thing that they should do when they see a business opportunity is to look at themselves, right? Because it takes more than an opportunity to make a business work, right? And one of the most important things that you need is your capacity. Do you have the capacity to make that business opportunity work? For example, she says that she has seen a business opportunity of making caps. It means that she needs vocational skills. So if I was talking to her right now, I will ask her, do you have the vocational skills of making caps? Do you know how to make caps? Because if she doesn't know how to make caps, it already opens up door for some more expenses where she may need to pay people to make the caps, or she may move from making the caps herself and move into distribution. So this is a business opportunity that works in two ways. Either she make the caps and sell, if she knows how to make the caps, or she can pay people to make the caps, or she can find people who are already making the caps and are willing to sell to her, so she can focus on marketing and distribution. That's the first thing, because her question was, what should she put in place to make this business opportunity work, right? After that, the next thing I would recommend her to do is to check how good she is in marketing and sales. No matter how lucrative a business opportunity is, if you, the entrepreneur, if you, the business person, if you are not good in marketing and sales, that business will not go anywhere. Okay? Again, as I said, start with yourself. Do you have the marketing and sales skills? And if you don't have, you can start reading about marketing, start reading about sales, start taking online course as far as that is concerned. Now, one of the most important things that you can also do as this lady is really make sure that this problem actually exists, right? Because it's possible to sit in your house, it's possible to observe people in your community and see that this is a business opportunity. And if you step out of your comfort zone and start talking to people to actually validate if the business problem or the business opportunity is actually there, you will be able to have a more better realistic perspective, right? I always advise people, never sit in your house and assume that people have a problem. Never sit in your house and observe and just agree that there is a business opportunity. Yes, it starts as an idea, but you need to move into the marketplace, validate, talk to people, and be sure that what you want to put your money in is very important. And the last thing I'll talk about is, there are many things, of course, and sometimes this advice depends on where the person is in life and what the person has as resources. But the next thing I'll advise her to do is let her build her startup cost. This is very important. When you see a business opportunity, or when you have a business idea, one of the most important things to do is sit down and draw a startup cost budget. What do you need to start this business? And be as lean as possible. Be as minimal, let me use that word, as possible. Because first of all, majority of the people who start businesses always have the issue of limited resources, right? So this lady needs to create a startup budget and look at, this is what I need to start this business. Then she needs to check her savings or her capital. The capital I have, does it correspond with this startup budget? Now, why is this important? Number one, I have seen many people see a business opportunity and excitedly start putting money, investing money, and halfway into the business, the money they saved is finished, and they have not even gone halfway to start that business. Now they have an incomplete business with no money to complete with it. And that's the power of startup budget. Before you ever take a step to start implementing a business, develop a startup cost budget, look at what you have, and be sure that what you have can cover the startup phase of that particular business. All right. So for those that are joining now, you're welcome. About 2 hours ago, I asked people to send me questions, career, business questions, and I will do my best to answer them as much as possible. So I am reacting to some questions that people sent to me a few hours ago. If you have questions about business, career, please throw them at me and I will answer them as much as possible. The next question is from Odette Aga. Sorry if I butcher somebody's name. Odette is asking a question. You are into a small business and you have saved small money, right? You have saved little capital, right? Two things in your mind. Number one, start a house construction since you are still renting, or open a branch elsewhere. Which one should come first? All right. Now, here's the question. Odette is already in business. And probably with this her already existing business, she has been able to save some money from this already existing business. Now she's thinking, with this money she has saved, should I build a house? Should I build a house because I'm renting, or should I open the branch of another business? The typical investment part of me will be expand and make more money from the expansion and use the profit from the expansion and build a better house. Because you use the word small money. So I don't think small money can build a dream house, right? I'm one of those people. I prefer you rent for 10 years and take all the because a house is basically a liability. People think that a house is an asset. It's not. A house that is an asset is only a house that you build to put on rent for people to rent and give you money. The house that you stay in is a liability. You understand? I am a type of business person that I can probably build a house and give out for rent and businesses rent, and I'm still renting myself, right? So I make more money. You understand? So, but Odette, I mean, since our business is still small and you can still pay your house rent and all of that, than to take a couple of millions and stock in a land and stock in a house, and that house will be a liability. I prefer to take those millions and expand your business and open a new branch. And maybe you can set a new goal that let the new branch you're going to open finance the building of your house. It's always better to build a house from the profit that you make. Okay? Again, but this is also a decision that depends on you and your husband. If you are committed that a house is primary for you, you can go ahead and build the house. But I always advise people to do this. When you are taking a lot of money to invest in a building which is for your residential purposes, not for money-making purposes, I always recommend people make sure your business has a very good cash flow. It's very dangerous to take millions and build a house where you will stay. Meanwhile, your business is struggling in terms of sales, in terms of marketing, in terms of consistent income, and in terms of growth. Okay, good. So it's very important to look at that. But if you're still a small business, as you said, I prefer you focus on scaling your business than taking millions and stocking in a house. And then you can have a plan that maybe 2 years after or 1 year after, you can build your house and all of that. And also go a step further and see how you can actually not just build a house where you're going to live, but let that house, if part of that house, like in most African countries, I've worked with people that build a house where they live, and behind they built a boys' quarters where they can rent out, so that that boys' quarters can provide income yearly that you can use to repair the house. As I said, the house you live in is a liability. It's not an asset. Okay, an asset is that which brings you money. You understand? So it's really good to be strategic in how you do this. The next question that somebody asked me earlier on was, what are some of the most common challenges that professionals and business owners face in Cameroon, and what are some strategies for overcoming these challenges? Okay, so this is a question from Cameroon. Now, this question is too general, and secondly, it depends on where that person is, because the common problems that people have totally depends on where people are in life. For example, the problem that somebody who has a business idea has and who has no money is different from the problem that somebody who has a business idea and has some money in the bank account is different, right? However, one of the general problems I have observed that people go through as far as business is concerned in Cameroon is, and I've seen this in other African countries. I've been able to do consulting and training in Kenya, Nigeria, Ghana, Liberia, all of these countries. And there are similar challenges across Africa, right? One of the first general problems I'll talk about is the poor governance structure that we have. The poor governance structure that we have. For example, the bribery and the corruption, especially the corruption of the tax officers, and also the delays in the treatment of business files. There are some business files that when you want to treat them, it's going to take you several days, right? But sometimes in Europe, in the Middle East, like there are some documents I have done in Dubai for business purposes, I've done in the US and other countries, that in Africa, in some countries in Africa, it will take several days to do it. But in some countries, it's going to take 2 hours and you get the documentation. The speed of treating files is very important in the life of a business person. You see, so I think the first general problem that we all face in Africa, in Cameroon in particular, is the poor governance structure, the poor efficiency that the government machinery goes through. And of course, that includes bribery, corruption, the laziness of civil servants. Some people go to the offices at 10 o'clock. There are many times in Cameroon that I have been to somebody's office at 8 o'clock and they'll come to the office at 10 o'clock. I'm a businessman spending 2 hours waiting for you, and you'll come and still give me another 2 hours, 4 hours in your office just to get a simple document. It affects my business operations, right? And many people like you who are following, you have experienced that, you have gone through that. The second biggest challenge I will talk about is the inadequate skills. There are many people that have the dreams and the passions to do a lot of stuff, but they don't have the skills to actually put those things to work. And let me tell you, without skills, it's going to be difficult. The third challenge is lack of resources. And when I talk about resources, I want to go deeper. It's beyond money. I'm talking about technical resources. I'm talking about digital resources and all of that. When people don't have adequate access to the right resources, they are going to struggle as far as business is concerned. However, as I said earlier, the challenges that people face depend on where they are in life. I have provided consulting and coaching to young people, to people who come from very wealthy families or powerful political families, but yet they have challenges. You get the concept? Good. Same as you are providing coaching to a fresh graduate from the university, they have challenges. So these challenges depend on where the person is in life, what they have access to, and where they want to go. Then we can begin to create a more structured system that can serve that particular person. All right. So next question will be, please, if you are joining right now, you are welcome. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, Gilbert, for joining in. Thank you, Edison. Thank you, Calmly Reed. Thank you, Abraham from Monrovia, from Liberia. Good. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Bliss. Thank you, Vela. Thank you, everybody who is watching. Thank you, Israel, Jonathan Israel from Chad, my brother from Chad. Thank you. All right, good. Let me go back to answer some questions. What strategies, this question is from Ayafo Edison. What strategies do you recommend for developing a personal brand that will help you stand out to potential employers or clients? Very important question. And I want to say that one of the most important things that anybody in this dispensation, you must be good at working on is your personal brand. Your personal brand is very important. If I was talking to a group of business leaders in North Carolina in the United States, and I was challenging them, if there's one thing you need to get right in this dispensation is building a personal brand. And I like to call it this. One of my recent books that I launched is on Amazon. This book is on Amazon, Building, Managing, and Monetizing Attention. Branding. Building, managing, and monetizing attention. You can get it on Amazon and you will learn a lot as far as the book is concerned. Right now, we're in a dispensation where I like to call it the battle of social media platforms. We're in a dispensation where the more attention you have, the more money you're going to make. That's a fact. Even employers now prefer to recruit employees that command attention. I provide recruitment. I sit in companies and I provide recruitment and all of that, right? I have seen an employer ask me basically, Joybert, we need somebody who has a good following on TikTok. Right? A good following on Twitter is very important because community and attention is now a currency. Okay? And understanding how you can invest in building a strong, growing personal brand will be very important. Let me give you some tips. If you're serious, if you're committed at building a personal brand that can help you make more money, attract clients, and of course get the attention of the right partners, these are some foundational things that you must do. Number one, pick an industry and stick to it. You don't build a personal brand being everywhere. The first step to building a personal brand is pick an industry and have interest, like that industry, invest to become a professional and an expert in that particular industry. Okay, that is the first step. You cannot build a brand being everywhere or even not being anywhere at all. You have to pick an industry and stick to it, right? It could be agriculture, healthcare, technology, fashion, entertainment, whatever. Pick an industry, stick to it. Number two, become a professional in that industry. Do a review around people that have powerful brands. Check. You will see that they command some level of expertise and knowledge in that particular industry. Okay? It's very important. You may need to go to school, you may need to take courses, you may need to go through mentorship, whatever you can do, read books. You have to command authority, knowledge in that industry. And who is regarded as an expert in an industry? Who is regarded as a top leader in an industry? There are 4 things that validate you as an expert in an industry. Number one, extensive knowledge of that industry. I'm putting the word extensive intentionally. There are people that leave university, they start calling themselves experts. First year university, right? Undergraduates, right? God, have you really started to be calling yourself an expert, right? If you stand on a global scale, global platforms, when you see the way they rate and recognize people as expert and thought leaders, you'll be like, my goodness. You get the point? Extensive knowledge. Number 2, extensive skills. The ability to convert that knowledge into a skill that can produce results. Number 3, extensive experience. The ability to put to use the knowledge, the skills in that industry. Okay. Number 4, very important, the depth of your professional networks and relationship and how other experts can recommend you, talk about you, or recognize the work that you do. This is very important in building a good brand. Okay. The next thing I will talk about is consistency. Let me tell you, you don't build a brand that makes money overnight. You don't build a brand that commands authority overnight. You don't build a brand that attracts clients from all over the world overnight. You don't build a brand that somebody can see you out of nowhere and just call you over overnight. No, it takes consistency. And research has proven that it takes at least 7 years to build a brand that commands authority. 7 years of consistently showing up, consistently acquiring extensive knowledge, consistently using the skills to produce results. Consistently, it takes a lot of consistency because people will need to watch you and observe you. Let me tell you, for somebody to call you to do something, they will need to look at you, observe you, like you, trust you before they can give you money. Okay, these are some foundational things to look at as you start building your brand. It's very important. And let me tell you something, branding is very powerful. Branding can take you places where your hard work alone will never take you. That's why understanding the art of positioning yourself where opportunities can find you and where you can find opportunities is very important. And to summarize that, it is called building a strong personal brand, right? It's very important. It's very important. Like, I always like to share this personal story. I've had the privilege to travel 21 countries, 4 continents, to speak, coach, consult, and do the work I do. And I can say that 99% of the people who have hired me for services and all of that, I have never met them physically. They don't know me from Adam. Do you know what happens? Either they hear about me somewhere, they stumble on my work, they read stuff, all of that. Somebody recommends me, and etc. That is how the relationships are built, and that's how they do that. I always like to ask this question. If people are sitting in a room and somebody mentions your name in a room, and a great man hears about you and develop interest about you, if they come on your social media platform, if they come on your Facebook, if they go on Google and type your name, what will they see? Whatever they see is your personal brand. Everybody has a personal brand. The difference is some people have positive, active personal brands, while some people have negative personal brands, and some people have inactive, non-existent personal brands. You get the concept? So make sure that in all you do, invest in your branding. I have provided a lot of one-on-one coaching to help people build branding, especially branding that can put them on the international scene, and it takes some time. And when people come to me, I tell them, don't expect I'm going to do magic and have you do this in a few months. No, it's a long lens. And I always tell people, if you are serious with your career and with your business, one of the things that you should do is see your career 10 years ahead of you. If you have not seen that business 10 years ahead of you, if you have not seen your own life, your own career 10 years ahead of you, you are not just serious. Great things take time. Okay? Good. Questions? Please send me more questions. I'm looking for questions in the comments sections. Question here says, I would like to ask this. Do you also advise on lucrative small businesses one can start doing in Cameroon? All right. So somebody is asking if I advise on lucrative small businesses people can start in Cameroon. Yes, I do that. I do advise people on what kind of business they can start in any country, not just Cameroon. And I will need to talk to you, because the business that A can do that is lucrative is not the same business that B can do that is lucrative. And let me share this with you. Every business in the world is lucrative. Oh yes, every business on earth is lucrative. Every sector on earth is lucrative. Every sector has a millionaire in it. So if you fail in a business area, it's not the sector. Check what you did wrong. You understand? Yeah, so when it comes to advising people, I don't always just list, oh, do this, do this, do this, do this. I think it's inadequate and it's poor and it's lack of proper thinking to just tell people this is the best business to do. Yes, it can be the best business to do for A and it's not the best for B. You get the concept? So if you're thinking of starting a business, apart from just thinking that, oh, this business is good, you need to check, do you have the right skills to make that business work? Do you have the right financial resources to make it work? Do you have the right data to validate if that business can work in that town, in that city? There are many parameters you need to look at before you ascertain that, you see, this business can be lucrative for me and it can be bad for the other person, right? Good. So, and I always advise people, please, I always advise people, If you are serious at starting a business, always make sure you seek the counsel. You seek the counsel of people that can provide you the right knowledge and advice. Okay? If you are selfish to remove a little amount of money to pay an expert who can walk you through and help you start a business the right way, you can take all your life savings and mess up in a business that would have probably changed your life, but because you did it the wrong way. Okay, good. I would really like to have some of your business books, I mean hard copies. Where are you? If you are in Europe, you are in the United States, you are in the Middle East, you are in South Africa, you can order my books on Amazon. You can just go on Amazon and type Javnyuy Joybert or Dr. Javnyuy Joybert, and you will see my books that are on Amazon. I think 7 books there, which you can order on Amazon, and they will definitely help you a lot in business and career success. How can I build a brand from drugstore, pharmacy, and importing? All right, I just explained some steps that you can do. For you, your case is different, that you have already picked an industry. You want to build a brand. You want to build a brand in pharmacy, right? You want to import drugs and probably sell in wholesale and run a pharmacy if that is your plan. When you pick an industry, you need to start positioning yourself in your country. Let people see you as a go-to person as far as drugs are concerned and as far as pharmacy is concerned. You can do this by using the media. You can do this by using social media. Try to communicate thought leadership content in videos, in text, TV, whatever, the way people can see you as a go-to person. Because one powerful thing about branding is perception. If people can perceive you as the expert, people can perceive you as the right person they can trust, they will recognize your brand and definitely want to do business with you. Okay, you can check the previous part of the video. You see other things that I shared. I want to answer as many questions as possible, so I don't want to repeat answering the same questions. All right. Welcome again, everybody. Please do share the video so we can have more people. I am just here having a chit chat with everybody and just answering questions, career questions and business questions. Please shoot them at me if you feel I can share some thoughts on that challenge, which can enable you build a better career and a better business for yourself. So you can just provide in the comment section of this video, jump into the comment section of this video and drop your question and I will answer it. All right. The next question comes from Ayafo Edison again. He says, what are some effective strategies for prioritizing tasks and staying focused on most important goals in your online business? You know, knowing how to focus on the right task in whatever you do is very important. There are many people that can be able to produce incredible results in their careers and in their business, but since they don't understand how they can focus on the right task that can produce results, very important. Like I always like to say, busybody is not productivity. There are many busy people who are not producing the right result. And when it comes to business, every businessman has 2 types of activities: money-making activities and non-money-making activities. That's a fact. Money-making activities and non-money-making activities. So if you are into business, one of the major strategies, one of the major things that you need to do is look at all your daily activities. Which activity will directly impact how you make money and which one will not? Then you start making sure that you focus on the activities that will create the highest impact on your business. And when you do that, the next thing to do is try to break down the activities into your day. Don't leave activities open. Don't leave activities based on I'll do it anytime. No, here's how I do it. I always leave all my activities. That's why I like my Google Calendar. All my activities are fit into times, right? 8 to 10, 10 to this to this, till my day ends. And when I do that, of course, there are notifications that reminds me, okay, by this time to this time, you're focusing on this. And when you know your activities, you know the things to focus on primarily, right? And you keep on pushing ahead. So it is very important to do that. When you're able to get this right, you're able to get the activities to focus on. Number two, you break them and fit them into your day. Number three, discipline. Self-discipline is very important. There is something that I also do, which I've taught thousands of my clients, is chunking. It's called time chunking. Now, what is the concept of time chunking? Time chunking means that you can pick those activities that you need to do them on your own, and you chunk them within a particular time period and cut out distractions. Cutting out distractions means you can lock your office, you can lock your room, you can go off social media, do whatever. Reduce all distractions as much as possible, and then your mindset focuses on a very simple concept. I am blocking this time, I am chunking this time between 7 a.m. and 11 a.m. to focus on these particular activities. I like to do that a lot. Anytime I have paperwork, I'm working on a customer strategy, I'm working on reviewing a business plan and giving ideas. Anything that is paperwork, I always do my best to chunk time a lot. So if you're an online business, you need to understand the power of chunking your time and be careful of distractions. And one thing about online business is know how to manage social media notifications. Yes, social media notifications can be a very big distraction for people that run online businesses. What does that mean? You're always anxious to check every comment. You're always anxious to check every notification that your phone gives you. What I do is, when it's time to work, I put off all notifications, because you may not necessarily put off your internet because you need to work online. You can put off their notifications, right, and focus on your business. All right, good. Any questions? Is there any question I have not attended to? For those who are joining now, you're welcome. So I am providing advice, counsel to career questions and business questions that people have. If you think that I can share some perspective and some advice, some guide on this, please let me know. Yes, any questions for me? Go ahead. Go ahead and shoot those questions to me. Okay. I always like to ask people this question, or throw this at people. If you have been in business for at least 3 years, depending on which country you're following this from, but it works mostly like in Africa, Cameroon, anywhere you are. But if you have been in business for 3 years and you have not made your first million, why do you think is your biggest challenge? What do you think is your biggest challenge? Why have you not been able to make your first 1 million as a business person? What do you think is your biggest challenge? Let's talk. I always believe that if you have been in business for at least 3 years, one of the things you'll be able to do is be a millionaire. So, but why do you think I've come across people that have been in business 5 years and plus, during my business training, business events, and consulting and coaching, and you know, even after being in business for 5 years plus, sometimes they're still struggling financially, hand to mouth. They are barely making enough for themselves. So I begin to wonder what is wrong. Sometimes I ask people, why do you think this is the case? What is wrong? Why are you not scaling? Why are you not more profitable than this? Why are you stunted? Why are you instead going backward? What is wrong? I believe in business, it should be from glory to glory, right? One should be moving forward, one step at a time, moving to the top. Okay. So what do you think? Why do you think that you are not making that? Somebody's asking me a question. How much do you charge for consulting? As small as little as possible and as much as possible. So it depends what you want us to solve. There's no one fit fee for consulting. Okay, I've charged millions for consulting and I've charged tens of thousands for consulting. So it depends. It depends on the business problem. It depends on how long, what you want us to focus on here and there. Then we can do some business. So if you can send me a message inbox and let's talk about it, and we can be able to craft a customized package for you and solve your problem. Any question? No, but I've asked a question, but nobody has. So I'm asking the question since there's no. I've answered all questions in the comments section except I'm missing one. So I'm asking the question: if you have been in business for 3 years plus and you have not made your first 1 million in whatever currency you are in, what do you think is the challenge, right? Except for those in Europe, using euro and dollars. The matrix is different from providing consulting with those in the United States and in Canada. Sometimes in the third year, people are able to make $500,000 and above. It all depends on the kind of business. But if you're in Africa, or depending on where you are, you have been in business 4, 5 years, 3 years plus, and you have not made your first 1 million. What do you think is your challenge? You can raise it up and let's talk about it. And for those who are joining right now, for the last 1 hour, I have been answering questions, career and business questions that people have. If you have a question, please drop it in the comment section, and I will happily provide my thoughts, my perspective, and hopefully they help you build a better career and a better business. Any question? There's a question I think I'm missing out that somebody asked. Okay. Thank you so much, Daryl, for joining. Thank you for joining. Good to have you here. Okay, it seems, should I say that I've exhausted all questions so far? I answered your question, Mr. Godi. I cannot tell you this how much I charge for consulting. Your problem is different from the other customers, right? So if you have send me a question inbox. I have charged a few thousands for consulting. I've charged millions for consulting. Okay, so it depends on your problem. It depends on how long you want us to work, and there are many things in play before I can. So you know what? Based on this our discussion, this is how much I can charge you as far as this particular challenge is concerned. Okay, so if you have a business challenge and you want me, so I'm talking to Mr. Godimba, please reach out to me. Just send me a message inbox and we'll take the conversation from there, and then we agree on something and we can be able to come to a good agreement and I answer your question. Yes, greetings, Clifford Leafotel. Greetings, every other person that is coming in. Yes, please. Thank you so much, Mr. Godi. Any other question for me? Any other questions for me? Let's go ahead. Career questions, business. For those who are joining now, if you are in you're anywhere in Europe, anywhere in the United States, Canada, Middle East, or anywhere that you can order books and get them delivered at your doorsteps. For those who have been able to order my books across the United States, Canada, thank you so much. But you can go on Amazon, type javnyuyjoybert.com. You'll see my books. This book, Building, Managing, and Monetizing Attention. This book will teach you how to monetize social media, attention on social media, and even physical attention, right? This skyrocket your profit. Skyrocket your profit. This book is so special to me because I have put together some thoughts in this particular book. I have, by God's grace, I've been able to provide travel to 21 countries, and through online sessions like Zooms, I provided consulting to clients in 37 countries, and I've helped many clients and businesses to work on their marketing and sales strategies, structure, improvise, advice, and all of that. So I decided to spend time and put together 30 marketing and sales strategies that any business can just look at, especially small and medium-sized businesses. You can look at, copy and paste, right? So skyrocket your profit. This business will teach you how, this book will teach you how to skyrocket the profit of your business with implementation guide, step-by-step guide on how to implement. From CPO to CEO, from Chief Procrastination Officer to Chief Execution Officer. If you are going to win in business, you are going to win in life, you are going to win in your career, you need to master the art of execution. This book will teach you how to stop procrastinating and how to start executing. Yes, please drop questions in the chat box. Let me answer them. I am just promoting my book because questions are done and we have 8 more minutes to go. Then I will stop the live. This next book is called Business Idea Handbook. How to uncover hidden business ideas and opportunities. It will teach you a step-by-step process on how to find profitable business ideas around you and how to implement them. This book sold 1,000 copies in 1 week. Incredible feedback that I got as far as this book is concerned. So it's important to do that. This other book is crazy book. I've had incredible feedback from this book. Funny concepts, funny stuff, and all of that. Business lessons from drug cartel lords. Business lessons from drug cartel lords. Right. I love to watch drug cartel movies and documentaries. One of my favorite movies is The Blacklist. Right. And when I started watching and reading about these people and watching documentaries, these guys are very intelligent. The way they structure their logistics, the way they instill loyalty into their team members, all these are things that we business people should learn from them and do better. So I have curated 17 business lessons we can learn from drug cartel lords and make it in business, right? This is my second ever published books, From Average to Unforgettable. And of course, the last one is 40 business models and examples. You want to know how businesses across the world make money, you need this book, and you'll be able to know how they make money and use this book to also learn how you can take your ideas and build a profitable business model and make it profitable. Okay, good. I see some questions are dropping in. Let me answer and then we'll round up in 5 minutes here. Okay. Questions from Calmly Rich. It says, how much do you think one can have to start up a business? I mean, average, like how much do you think one can have to start thinking of a business? Any amounts. $1, $2, $5, $10, how any amount, right? It depends on the business. There are many businesses that all you need is a laptop, internet, and you can start, right? Yeah. So it's not about the amount, it's about the business first. Again, as I said earlier, it's not just the idea. When the idea comes, that is one thing. Now look at yourself, look at resources, look at what is available, look at anything you need to use, then you can develop a startup cost budget. So the best way to know how much you need to start a business is when you think of a business idea, develop a startup cost budget. You understand? Develop a startup cost budget and begin to write down, what do I need to start this business and how much does this cost? You understand? Then you'll be able to get, okay, for me to start this business, I need this particular amount. Okay, good. I hope that answers the question, Miss Calmly Rich. Okay. There is why are some questions? Why are some questions hanging? Let me check it on my laptop. Some questions are missing on my phone. Okay. Good. Okay. Can you please share with us some factors that can cause a business to fail? There are many factors. There are people that start a business with no background in business, no business training, no business mindset, no business knowledge. They have nothing. They just jump into a business. And that is the first reason why people fail in business, right? No business documents, no business information, nothing. They just start and they end up crashing in few weeks, not even months. Few weeks, they mess up. Or if they stay more than a few months, they will lose a lot of money because of every step they take, they're going to make mistakes, right? Number two is the wrong mindset. There are people that have the money, they have the resources, they have the good ideas, but the wrong mindset. Their mindset is so negative, their mindset is so terrible, and all of that. Next is customer acquisition. No, let me say marketing and customer acquisition. No matter how good your business is, if you're poor in marketing and customer acquisition, your business is going to mess up. You're going to fail in your business. And one thing I've learned in coaching and consulting is people, depending on where they are, have different reasons why they end up failing in business. But these points I've given are some major reasons why many people end up failing in business. The fourth one is people start businesses with no idea as far as regulations are concerned. Because if you start a business and the government comes and shut down your business, you have failed. That's business failure. And you failed because you did not pay attention to government, regulations, registration, whatever, etc. Very important to look at that. Okay? And sometimes people just give up. Lack of consistency. See, there are very few businesses on earth, right? I've been doing consulting for 12 years, several countries, hundreds of businesses, but I can tell you this, there are very, very few businesses that you can start today and make profit in the next 1 week. Very few. Very few. Now, people get into business the wrong mindset as if immediately you start making money. Meanwhile, it can take you 6 months, 1 year before you even start seeing profit. And because of the wrong orientation, the wrong long lens that they have, they quickly give up on that business and then the business fail. I have seen people fail in business not because it was a bad idea or they lacked the money or they lacked the skills, but what happened was they did not have the tenacity to make sure that business works over time. Okay, so these are some reasons why businesses get to fail. Sometimes bad friends, poor family support, and all of that, it can also contribute to that. Okay. As per your judgment, where is it easy to start up a business? Africa, to be precise, or the United States. Everywhere is easy to start a business. Everywhere is easy to start a business. You understand? Because somebody will say, you know what? It's so difficult to start a business in Cameroon. There are multi-millionaires in Cameroon. I have provided consulting to many companies in Cameroon, making hundreds of millions every month. I have a business in Cameroon. Somebody said Nigeria is too bad. The billionaires are in Nigeria. Somebody says South Africa, Kenya. Everywhere is easy to start a business, and everywhere is difficult to start a business. You understand? So it depends on you. I always say that if you're in business, one of your roles in business is chief figuring officer. If you don't have the patience, the tenacity, the mindset to figure out things, solve problems, maneuver, everywhere will be hard for you. I have seen people in the US, in Canada, in UK, who find it very difficult to start a business. Very difficult. Meanwhile, these are countries we think that they have the best business startup ecosystem, basically. You understand? So it's not just the environment, it's the person. It's the mentality, it's the resourcefulness, it's the ability to leverage and all of that. Okay? So it's not just about the location, it's primarily you. It's a sense that everybody wants to go to the US, go to Canada, go to Europe, all of that. There are still guys who have failed miserably in these countries. Many of them. You understand? So I always like to say that if you don't have the right mindset, the right skills, the right knowledge, and you leave Cameroon, Nigeria, Kenya to the United States, you have just transported somebody with the wrong mindset, the wrong skills into a developed country. A poorly trained mindset in a developed country will still struggle to fail. You get the concept. So apart from location, really, one thing I always say is, look, in all of the major countries that people complain, there are still multi-millionaires in those countries. So what are they doing different? Both young and old. Same as there are people who sit in Africa and feel that being in the US is big success and all of that. Meanwhile, when you go to the US, there are many people who are still struggling to make it in business. So what is the main difference? Right? Yes, as I said earlier, there are some countries that have better ecosystem and better structures. But there are still people that are in those countries and they are failures in business, or they don't even know what to do or how to start it. Right? So you need to make sure that you are so resourceful enough to make it work no matter where you find yourself. Okay? Like I've seen many Americans say, you know what, I'm going to Eastern Europe, I'm going to Finland, it's more easier to start business there. I'm going here. What people say, you know what, I'm coming to America, it's more easy to start a business. You see? So it's all about us first. We, the human beings, first. Okay? So the country that I know many friends that have relocated from the US back to Africa to start companies and they're doing well. And I know many friends that have left Africa to the US to do companies and they're doing well. So it all depends on really you. A big part of it is us, the entrepreneurs. Okay? So, and that's why we should be careful how we build certain belief system in our mindset. They get to instead limit us and play a big bad, effect in the things that we can build for ourselves as a people. Okay? Question here is, can you please share with us how you can balance a relationship and starting a business or pushing your business? I wrote an article one time and I was saying that the most difficult thing to do is building a relationship and running a business. And worst of all, a relationship with somebody who has poor understanding as far as certain things in life are concerned. Right? And truth be told, I've advised many young entrepreneurs not to start a relationship when they're about to start a business. And some listen and they worked. I know many. I run a mentorship platform where I mentor so many entrepreneurs from different countries and all of that. And there are many that, listen, and I will give them metrics. Say, you know what? On the start the relationship, you have achieved the following metrics in at least 2 years or 3 years, right? And it gets to help them because it's difficult to build a business if you are not in a good, sustainable, supportive relationship. However, this becomes very easy if you are building a business and you are in a relationship, marriage also, with a supportive, understanding spouse. Right? Yes, very important. But if you are in a relationship with somebody who is a consumer, a consumer, right? Especially men, and dating ladies who are consumers, they have no vision, no dreams, and all of that, you are finished. They will negatively influence you. I have worked with many guys who are, in the course of building their businesses, they had terrible, bad girlfriends that negatively affected what they are doing. So it's something that you need to be very careful. And if you are single as an entrepreneur and you are planning of getting married, who you marry is very important. If you marry a consumer, if you marry somebody who has no long lens view, if you marry somebody who cannot even bring in something additionally, the person must not have the same skills, right? But it's not going to help in any way. Even apart from that, somebody who can just give you comfort. Let me tell you, entrepreneurship can be so lonely. It can be so lonely. You understand? I always say something funny. Somebody can look at me and say, you know what? All of this, all of that. But the point is, you don't know what my woman will be going through just getting married to me. Because when I do all the travelings and all the problems, I'm in the business of solving problems. When anybody reached out to me, CEOs, they tell me that company problems. So I'm always solving problems, basically, right? And sometimes it can be exhausting. And if I don't have a woman that can give me peace of mind, first of all, or understanding, or sometimes they understand that I can just be on a table for myself for 3, 4, 5 hours without distractions. And if she cannot create that atmosphere where I cannot be distracted, all of these things play a lot in business. You understand? So I always say that when you're in business or you're a purpose-driven person, change maker, please be careful how you build relationships. Look beyond the face and the ass. Sorry, right? Men, be careful. Look beyond that. You need, they popularly call it in church a virtuous woman, right? Go and read. I always feel like when Solomon was writing the Bible and talking the book of Proverbs and talking about a virtuous woman, I think Solomon was describing the perfect wife that an entrepreneur should marry. Now, if you have read that verse before, please go and read. Is it Proverbs 31? Go and read Proverbs 31 as an entrepreneur looking for a wife. You look at it from a different perspective. I feel like Solomon was writing Proverbs 31 to male entrepreneurs, telling them, if you're about to get married, make sure that the woman you are going to get married to has the following traits and characteristics, right? It's very important. But in all of this, learn how to communicate, okay? Learn how to communicate. And again, but if you're communicating to somebody who doesn't have the right mindset, the right understanding, the right character, and all of that, it will be like you are hitting a gong, okay? And it's very important. But if the person has all of this, proper communication is the foundation of building a business and building a relationship, okay? We are 9 minutes beyond that. Thank you so much, Godimba. Thank you for ordering the books on Amazon. Thank you so much. Please send me feedback. Send me a selfie when the books come in. Where are you, please? Which country are you in? I like to know the country people order their books in case I'm in your country, I'm in your city, so that I could try to meet up and we sit down. I like to meet people who have bought my books and are reading my books. So if that's okay by you, please comment where you're based and maybe in your country, in your city, next week, next month. How can you grow your business with little income? Plow back the profit into the business or look for extra money and add into the business. And let me tell you something. Oh, Ohio. Oh my goodness. Awesome. Good. You're in Ohio. I was in Ohio 2 weeks ago. 3 weeks. Columbus. I was in Columbus 3 weeks ago. All right. But I think I'll be back. I have some work to still do there very soon. All right. I will stay in touch. Very good question here. How can you grow your business with little income? Let me tell you something. Take a loan. Now, I always say this. You don't need external money. You don't need a loan to start a business, but you need a loan to grow a business if you don't have the right money to grow that business. Because here's one thing. Money is one of the main key drivers to grow a business. You cannot grow a business with the same capital or with small money. You understand? Vanessa Angel. So, to grow your business with little income, one good thing is you have started already. Right? From how you structure a sentence. I want to believe you have started already, right? But the income is small. The capital is small. And it means that you have tested the idea. You have proven that it's a good business idea. Now you can have the courage, you can have the confidence that, hey, if I borrow this amount and put into this business, I can be able to pay back in 6 months, in 1 year, because you have data. You have data from your already existing business to measure how much the business can make in a few years, okay? And one thing about startup is you need to learn how to reinvest back into the business. You understand? Yes. Here's what I did. I lived for almost 10 years and I was reinvesting 90% of all the money I was making back into my company. So I was living what they call a frugal life, a very small living. I was not doing large rooms I was living mostly in one room houses and all of that. I was minimizing a lot of expenses and retailoring all the money I was making and profits back so that I can swell the business. You understand? So you can also do that. It's another way, or you can get external money in forms of loans or investors, whatever, and swell that business to the next level. Oh yes, Daryl, you're right. Some companies, some businesses can take 5 years before they can be profitable. Oh yes, I've worked with many businesses that have taken 4 years, 5 years, 6 years before being profitable, right? So it's very important for us to do that. Good. Awesome. Oh yes, if you have a poor mindset, your location won't even matter. Exactly. There are people in America who cannot even start a business because they are full of fear. Fear is mindset. I will fail. It will not work. But they're in America, they're in Dubai, they're in Canada, they're everywhere, but they cannot start a business. Wrong mindset, right? Yeah, with the right mindset, you can do a lot of things. Let me tell you something. The right mindset is very important in business. Very, very important, right? Especially proactive, resilient mindset, goal-getter mindset. These mindsets are very important in business. What is the difference between someone who owns a multiple business and an entrepreneur? There are entrepreneurs that own multiple businesses. I'm an entrepreneur and I own 4 businesses, right? The main difference between an entrepreneur and a typical businessman is innovation, the innovative mindset of the entrepreneur. Most business people can probably just buy and sell, buy and distribute and make money, right? Or they can inherit a business and they focus on just maintaining existing systems and nothing changes. But an entrepreneur steps up the game, right? Elon Musk has multiple businesses. You see, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Dangote, Tony Elumelu, Dawara in Cameroon, everywhere across Africa, right? So, entrepreneurs can have multiple businesses. A typical traditional business person can have multiple businesses. The difference between a traditional business person, an entrepreneur, is the innovative mindset and the intentionality of an entrepreneur to disrupt an industry or to disrupt an existing way or business model of doing a business, right? Yes, that is one of the major differences between an entrepreneur and somebody who's just business, traditional, and all of that. All right, good. So we have taken more than 1 hour, plan an additional 15 minutes, and I hope that I was able to answer your questions as much as I could. Thank you so much for everybody who sent in their questions and everybody who participated, everybody who added their perspective and all of that. Anytime I have the time, and when I'm not speaking somewhere, when I'm not traveling, when I'm not doing, and I'm just home, like I was just home today, sometimes I create time to jump on a live show like this to answer questions as much as I can. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. And let's stay in touch. Cheers.